morning, Nancy.
I talked to everybody in the house, and none of them can figure out what caused the fire. Maybe I should take Lewis's advice and cut my losses before it's too late.
What advice?
He has a client who might want to buy the place. Someone with more experience and money to finish all of the renovations.
What did the fire department say?
They think the fire was caused by sparks from the fireplace, since it doesn't have a screen. And I specifically told Charlie to buy one. How could he have forgotten? No, I am bound and determined to stick with this house no matter what. Nothing can drive me away. I don't care if it's fires, earthquakes, or Mr. Valdez with his gang of ghosts.
Excuse me for prying, but why did you spend so much money to insure the house against fire?
For protection. I've put my entire life savings into this house, and if it goes up in smoke, I'll lose everything.
I can see you're busy. I'll let you go.
Bye.
Ah, Nancy, what a shame to have lost those papers. And to think that we almost lost the house. Rose is very fortunate to have you here.
Did you hear anything in the parlor before the fire started?
No, I'm afraid not. I'm somewhat isolated here. With these thick walls, I barely hear anything.
Were the papers very valuable?
Not for my purposes, no. But they must have had some sentimental value.
I was wondering whether you knew anything about someone named E. Valdez.
E. Valdez. No, I've never heard of that name. But I'll jot it down and let you know if I come across it anywhere.
What kind of antique store do you own?
It's a gallery, not a store. And it's called Chandler Interiors, specializing in the Victorian period. I have clients from all over the world, and if I don't have what they're looking for, I find it.
Was this house once a hotel?
That's hard to say. The house has been renovated many times, but several of its original features, such as the saloon and staircase, seem to indicate that it may have been a hotel. Unfortunately, there are no records on this house before 1906.
Do you think Rose should sell the house?
I leave that decision up to her. She's put an extraordinary amount of time and money into it, and I'm not sure if she can afford what it'll take to complete the renovations. But whatever her decision, I will assist her however I can.
I won't keep you any longer.
Nice to see you again.
Hey, Nancy. I hear there's been another accident. You've got to believe me, I didn't have anything to do with it. I just hope Rose doesn't blame me for this one.
Rose mentioned the fire screen you were supposed to get.
But I did buy it. Lewis told me that it was the wrong type and said he'd get another one, so I returned it.
And that's all there is to it?
Everyone thinks I'm causing these accidents because I was always the last one there, but I had nothing to do with them. I can tell you this. There's something unusual going on in this house.
So, do you have any proof?
I'd better not say any more. Sorry.
Have you met Lewis Chandler? What do you know about him?
He's an antique dealer, I think. I guess he does consulting work for Rose, like on Victorian furnishings and stuff.
How do you like working for Abby?
She's not bad. She can be a little weird. I think she gets on Rose's nerves sometimes.
What do you mean?
She always does a disappearing act whenever Rose needs her to do some work. And I think Rose is sort of hatty, you know?
Abby thinks the house is haunted. Do you?
I'm not sure. Let's just say I wouldn't rule it out. But that's Abby's department, not mine.
Charlie, I found this diskette. I think it's yours.
I was wondering where it was. Thanks a lot, Nancy. Luckily, I had a backup at the school.
That must be an interesting paper you're writing.
I just started to write it, so I don't know very much about the robbery. It's hard to separate fact from fiction, especially when most of the information is based on rumors.
Whatever happened to the gold?
Nobody knows. Some historians say that the bank faked the robbery to collect the insurance money.
Was it El Diablo who stole the gold? Or someone else?
It was definitely El Diablo, but no one knows who he was. In my opinion, El Diablo never existed. He was a composite of different outlaws from that era.
Who was the last person you saw in the parlor before the fire?
I've been working mostly in the basement, but I think I saw Abby go through those papers right before the fire.
Had you come across any hidden passageways down here?
You mean like a trapdoor leading to a room with skeletons or something? No, I haven't.
I'll let you get back to your renovation.
So long.
You have become completely distracted by all of the spiritualism stuff. I think you were in the parlor, either burning candles or using the trash.
Who has called me forth from the great beyond?
Drew Residence, Hannah Groon speaking.
Hi, Hannah.
Nancy, how are you? And how's Rose?
Great. I'm really glad you had Rose invite me out here. Her house is so beautiful.
I'm so happy you're out there. But I'm worried about all the accidents she's having. There's just been so many.
What has Rose said about them?
She doesn't say much, but I know they've become worse and worse. That's one of the reasons why I asked you to visit her, to see if everything is all right.
Do you suspect there's something more to these accidents?
I don't know. Rose is under a lot of pressure to open that bed and breakfast on time, and I'm worried that it may be too much for her.
I imagine the mansion was very expensive.
Rose spent her entire life savings on the house. If this doesn't work out, she won't have 30 more years to earn the money back. Well, I should let you get back to your renovation work. Thank you for calling. There's probably no reason for concern. But be on the lookout for anything unusual. Goodbye, dear.
Aha! That's it!
Louis, are you in there?
I'll be right there.
Hello.
Are you missing any papers?
Funny you should ask. Yes, I did misplace some old letters, but I'm sure they'll show up soon.
Do you know what gumbo foo means?
No, not that I can remember.
I can see you're busy. I'll let you go.
Bye, Nancy.
Hello?
Hi, Bess. It's Nancy.
Hi, Nancy. George is here. Let me put her on the speakerphone.
Nancy?
Hi, George.
Hey, what's up?
I'm in San Francisco, helping a friend of Hannah's renovate an old Victorian mansion. She wants to open up a bed and breakfast. Unfortunately, some strange accidents have delayed the project.
Uh-oh.
But now things have gotten a bit more complicated. I found some clues that suggest that there might be buried treasure in the house.
Wow.
Oh, Nancy. This sounds so exciting. How can we help?
Do you know anything about the house's history? That might help you find the treasure.
I met the resident handyman, Charlie. He's pretty young, and I don't think he has much experience.
Maybe he doesn't charge very much, so he's probably a good bargain for Rose.
Or maybe he's just cute.
Bess, is that all you can think about?
No.
There was a small fire in the house, but luckily I put it out. But the old papers that Abby found were destroyed.
Things are really starting to heat up, Nancy.
Ugh, and so are the bad puns.
Why would someone want to burn those papers?
I bet there was something in them that was important.
I'd take another look at the scene of the fire for any clues.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I found a secret room in the basement, and it looks like someone is living there.
Who could it be?
Probably Charlie. Doesn't he spend most of his time down there?
Look around for clues. Who knows what he's up to?
Do either of you know what gumbo foo means?
It sounds Chinese.
Call Emily. She'll know.
I should get going. Talk to you later.
Goodbye.
This is Emily.
Hi, Emily. It's Nancy Drew.
Nancy Drew? I haven't heard from you in ages. How's Hannah in River Heights? You're not in San Francisco, are you, my dear?
Actually, I am. I'm helping one of Hannah's friends, Rose Green, renovate this wonderful old Victorian mansion. She wants to open up a bed and breakfast.
Seems to be the trend these days. I'll bet you're staying in the Haight-Ashbury district.
I'm not sure. The place is located on California Lane. 4653, I think, is the number.
You know, you're lucky you caught me at home. I've been traveling most of these days, but after that crazy tour of Egypt. By the way, riding a camel is not as easy as it looks. My editor gave me an assignment right here in town. It'll be on the Dragons of San Francisco.
I hope you won't be riding them. What were you doing in Egypt?
Oh, you know, the usual. Pyramids, bazaars, the Sphinx. But what are you up to, Nancy? Why'd you call? Is there anything I can help you out with?
Can you tell me about the Chinese writing system? I seem to come across a lot of Chinese symbols.
Oh, it doesn't surprise me. The Chinese have been an important part of San Francisco history for over 100 years. The symbols are called Hanzi, and each one represents a particular thing, or an idea, or an action. You find them all over on business cards, takeout cartons, artwork.
I found some old papers in the house, plus a page from a phone directory dated 1894.
Ooh, that sounds valuable. It's hard to find old documents like that before 1906.
What do you know about the Bandit's Treasure?
Bandit's Treasure. Oh, you mean the play? The Rep did a season where they performed old local plays, including the Bandit's Treasure. I've never seen it, but I hear the music is fantastic.
Have you heard of an antique dealer named Louis Chandler?
Nope, never heard of him.
Have you ever come across hidden rooms in Victorian mansions?
No, but I've read that many houses were only partially rebuilt after the Great Earthquake, closing off damaged rooms from the rest of the house.
Do you know what the words gum bo fu mean?
Sounds Chinese to me. Why don't you ask everyone what they think it means? It may have something to do with the house. In the meantime, I'll ask my friends about it. Gumbo Fu.
Do you know where Yerba Buena town is?
That's what San Francisco was called back during the Spanish colonial period, but no one calls it that anymore.
Tell me about the Spanish and San Francisco.
Oh, you could write a book on that. The Spanish were the first Europeans to settle this area during the 1700s, and it stayed that way until after the Mexican-American War when it was handed over to the United States. It couldn't have happened at a better time because gold was discovered outside the city not more than 2 years later.
With all of that gold around, I'd imagine there's a lot of buried treasure in this town.
Yeah, you'd think that, but I've never heard of any in San Francisco except for Treasure Island out in the bay. But that's named after the book, not some legend.
I should get going. Goodbye, Emily.
I hope we'll talk soon.